Good afternoon and welcome back to Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We're live at Inside ETFs at Hollywood, Florida. And joining me for this segment, we're going to focus on sustainable investing. We have Sarah Kjellberg. She's the head of U.S. iShares Sustainable Investing over at BlackRock. Thanks so much for joining us at booth 207. So let's talk about your outlook for sustainable investing as it relates to ESG focused ETFs.
Sure, absolutely. So awareness about ESG is growing and it's becoming much more of a mainstream conversation. It's an area for us where we receive a lot of different inquiries. And so what we're trying to do is really fill this education gap that's out there and really focus on helping investors truly understand the space, the framework, and what's really important about helping them really implement them within portfolios.
Yeah, I noticed that was a big theme at Inside ETFs for 2018, but what are the benefits of looking at companies whose performance is tied to ESG?
Sure. So if you really, take a look at what ESG is trying to do, it's about identifying and measuring risks and opportunities not captured in traditional financial analysis. So for investors, it's really giving them an additional lens to really take a look at a company, right? So if you're looking at, let's just say a company within the energy space, right? So do you want to own a company that, has had a number of different accidents, has, been polluters, or would you rather own a company that is investing in technology to be more efficient, right? So you also want to take a look at, different issues, whether it's social issues and it's, taking a look at how do companies treat their employees, right? And so we know that companies that do treat their employees well, treat their customers well, certainly lends itself to being very advantageous for shareholders as well.
What do investors look for when they're trying to select an ESG ETF?
Absolutely. I think the framework, again, of understanding, ETFs and the different available investments that you have, what we've tried to really do is narrow it down to three things. So investors traditionally want to either prevent, promote, or target. So prevent, pretty self-explanatory. It's mainly done through screens, right? So it might be very explicit, like X fossil fuels, or, you take a look at some different strategy where, those exclusions could just be applied, right? Whether it's tobacco or weapons. The promote bucket is really about, kind of how we've seen the space evolve, right? So maybe it's less about exclusions and a little bit more about, I want to own more of those companies that, kind of are more mindful about ESG considerations. And I think this is the area that we see in terms of kind of leading to more kind of commercial adoption. So once again, less about screens and more about, again, owning some of those more companies that are kind of higher quality from that perspective. And then the last one is target, right? So target, think about it as kind of the thematic exposures, right? So gosh, I'm really interested in, the renewable space, right? I'm more environmentally minded. Now I have options, right? Where I can add and layer in a sector exposure.
All right, let's wrap it up with this. Let's talk about BlackRock's product evolution and outlook going forward.
Absolutely. So today we have about 10 products. DSI, one of our funds that we launched in 2006, just surpassed $1 billion, right? So when you take a look at ETFs, this is a pretty significant milestone. We're going to continue to invest in this space and deliver to investors the building blocks for asset allocation within ESG.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us. And traders, thank you for joining me throughout the day. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter.